Hey y'all, how you perking? I hope you're perking good. So, is Chris Hansen negatively affecting this Onision investigation by having partnerships and collaborations with Vincent Nicotra and with Mike Morse? We're about to find that out in today's video. We're going to find out the answers to that. So, for any of y'all who are unfamiliar with my videos, I usually do simple, petty internet drama, but I've been getting a lot of questions lately about this Onision stuff, so I figured I'd try my hand at that. This is the first time that I'm doing anything that's like serious and investigative and not just petty drama with the last handful of videos I've done. So it's interesting, it's new, but I've already got stuff coming true. If you go take a look at my very first Onision video, we've already got a lot of stuff coming true with the cards. So let's get into this. I am a licensed mental health clinician and a spiritual intuitive, and that's why in these videos we discuss the tea with the tarot. These are always meant to be helpful, not hateful, so if you're down with that, join the family as I drop cards. So let's take a look into that, because that's something that I've been hearing a lot. What we've been seeing from a lot of different people is some criticisms about what's been going on with this FBI investigation against Onision. We've heard people say that Chris Hansen is going about things the wrong way, or that he is hindering the process more than helping by trying to regain himself into the limelight and resurrect the type of presence he used to have in the 90s with his To Catch a Predator show on TV. We've had people say, well, you know, you're only as good as the people that you surround yourself with, and you've surrounded yourself with people like Vincent Nicotra, who are allegedly, everything in here I'm going to talk about, I'm just going to say allegedly, just, you know, CYA, that Vincent is incredibly unprofessional, allegedly, that he has, you know, impulsivity issues, that he can't, he maybe has mishandled some things associated with the investigation, primarily a laptop that belonged to one of the victims, allegedly, Sarah, and that he maybe has said inappropriate things. We've also heard people say, how are you going to have Mike Morse be someone who is representing you and being a voice for you in this investigation when he himself in Michigan is under fire for a sexual harassment issue, and he's in a legal battle with that himself, and that's ironic because of the focus of the Onision case. So we've heard a lot of arguments going around back and forth, and some people are really scared that them being involved will have irrevocably negatively affected this investigation, and people are worried that Onision could walk free just because of things being mishandled by a team like this. So we're looking into it today just to see what the cards have to say about it. They've been very interesting in the things that they have said in the previous videos. So if you're following this Onision case very closely and you're wanting to know about the outcome of, I should stop saying case because there's no case yet. It's an ongoing investigation. But if you've been following the ongoing investigation and you are interested in learning about the potential outcome, about some of the things going on with the daughter falling out of the two-story window, and, you know, some circumstances around that. I've done videos on all of those things, so you can pause this, go check those things out. The stuff that's already come true were the predictions in the very first video about the hearing for the orders of protection. The card said that both Chris Hansen and Repsion would come out on top, which happened. However, the cards also said something would happen during the Chris Hansen portion that would give Chris something to use against Onision later, and the cards also said that the battle may be over in that particular day against him and Onision, but that Repsion and Onision will have ongoing beef and it's not over. And that is starting to look like it's true, considering Onision said he dismissed that case because there were other avenues he wanted to pursue. So we've already talked about some of those things in other videos. They're already starting to come true. Let's keep it moving with this. So, let's look into, let me see how we want to break this down. Do we want to do question by question about Vincent versus Mike versus Chris Hansen, or do we want to, sure, we'll do it that way. Okay, let's start with Vincent Nicotra, since he is the one in the hot seat right now for some of his recent behaviors, and he's arguably somewhat embarrassing himself and digging a deeper hole in terms of ever being hireable again by anybody. You know, there's some stuff going on. So let's look into, has he done anything related to this investigation that could come back to thwart the investigation, impede the effectiveness of the investigation against Onision? So let's take a look at that first. Alright. Oh God, that's the very first card we've started with? Are you serious? I can't make this shit up, y'all. I can't make this shit up. Alright. Let's look at this. We're looking at Vincent Nicotra here. Looking at Vincent. Alright. So, we're going to end up pulling a lot more cards than this. This is just getting us started. So, I'm laughing because the very first card is a card that's like, dude, you know what you did was wrong. You know what you did was dishonest. You know what you've been doing is deceptive. You know that you are playing low, hitting below the belt. You know exactly what you're doing about that. And that's the very first card. The next card we get here is the Nine of Pentacles, and this woman I think is meant to represent Sarah, because that's talking about one of the allegations against Vincent is that he had her laptop and he was supposed to send it to the authorities. The King of Swords in reverse, this is going to represent the authorities, that he was supposed to send it to the authorities. And he says that his claims allegedly from to my knowledge was that, you know, either he didn't know he was supposed to, or he was trying to, or he was talking to Chris about it and Chris said to hold on to it, or, you know, whatever. He gave some excuses, some might say, about why the laptop didn't make it to the proper authorities. With this card here, the King of Pentacles in reverse, that tells me that whatever he said was not true. This tells me that that whatever he was saying that is trying to sound like he had good reasons for it not to, it was just a miscommunication. This is all one big misunderstanding. No. No. And I actually, with this card being in reverse, the King of Pentacles energy is an energy of somebody who, especially in reverse, somebody who's kind of greedy, somebody who's kind of out for themselves. My fear is that he may have wanted to be involved, like he may have put himself involved too much. there's a certain point at which you involve yourself too much to the point that people say, well, it's too likely or too possible that you could have tampered with something, and so it's not usable. There's a chance that he could be considered tampering with evidence. And if you tamper with something, then there's a possibility it can become unusable. And my hope is that he did not do something that could affect the case in that way. My hope is that. But this card doesn't give me the most confidence around that, to be honest. This card right here is basically kind of a giving up card. This card is him feeling like, he truthfully, I have to say it this way, he truthfully feels like he's been wronged, and that he's stuck and there's nothing he can do and woe is me, and that's why he's coming out and lashing out and saying crazy stuff and doing crazy stuff, because he's actually really quite insecure, and he actually feels really embarrassed. And so he has a lot of emotional stuff going on, and right now all of this is just trying to regain his sense of manhood back almost. It's kind of like he has to make a point and show that he's the bigger person and the bigger man, and that, try to have people see that he was right, and that, Chris Hansen is the sleazy one, but he's not. And, it's kind of somebody that just wants people to see it his way because he's trying to redeem himself. He's trying to redeem himself. With the World card upright, though, that's a couple things. So first of all, the good news is he's no longer going to be able to affect the investigation. So it is true that he's not going to be able to affect it anymore. He has lost access to the things that would be necessary in order to tamper and affect with this. So sure, he may still have the ability to mess with the website, Chris Hansen's website. Sure, he has the ability to do that, but he doesn't have the ability to affect the investigation anymore, which is a good thing, because with this kind of an energy, he was an impediment. He was getting in the way. He was causing more harm than good, which is quite unfortunate. And my hope is that the laptop and the information on it will still be considered usable, that my hope is that the authorities won't feel like he did anything that could be considered tampering with the evidence. I am a little bit worried about that laptop and about some of the evidence because of his behavior around that. But this is saying that he can't really mess with it anymore. So let's see just if we can get any kind of additional information about Vincent, but I do want to move on to some of the others. But, obviously. Yeah. Y'all, this stuff cracks me up, I can't make this shit up. You see me shuffling here. Yep. Yeah, so this is just telling us everything we already know. He's been judged. This is the judgment card. He's been judged very harshly by all of us watching. We already see he's been judged. The Sun in reverse and the Six of Wands in reverse says that he's fallen from grace. He's in this place right now where his pride is hurt. He's, incredibly embarrassed. He feels so insecure, and so embarrassed and humiliated that he's just lashing out right here. This is waiting for his ships to come in. He's lashing out and planting these seeds, just hoping that some people will see what he says, believe what he's saying, and give him the benefit of the doubt, and restore approval back into him and see it his way. But the problem is with the Lover's card in reverse, that's not going to happen. People see through it. People see what the truth actually is. Of course, all of this is alleged, let me remind you. But people see the truth for what it really is. This is a breaking of business agreements, so this means not only did he get fired, but this is screwing him over in terms of other career moves. And what he doesn't understand is that he's making it worse. He doesn't understand that by trying to save face and make things look better for him, by trying to pin things on other people, he's actually digging his hole deeper, and he's making himself look worse. And so he's actually really cutting himself off career-wise. This was and is what he's doing is somewhat career suicide, I've got to say. It's not looking good. This might take him a very long time to rebound from. It's going to take a long time for him to get quality, good, lucrative, big jobs again. This was a big mistake on his part. Big mistake. Let's move on to Mike Morse, because we don't want to waste too much time on just one individual. It's already 15 minutes in, and I'm being known for making videos that are like a half hour long because of trying to get all the details. So let's look into Mike Morse, and is there anything about Mike Morse that could be detrimental to this investigation or not? So let's start here. Interesting. It's an interesting way to start. Huh. Very interesting way to start. Let's see where this goes. Jesus, y'all. Okay. Wow, okay. So we're gonna have more to go off of on this. Okay, so let me see. First of all, I want to clarify. Is this King of Wands right here supposed to be Mike, or is it supposed to be Chris Hansen? I want to clarify. I know y'all can't see that card, but interesting. Okay. Interesting. So, what we're looking at here, this is interesting because of these two cards. Huh. Okay, we'll get this figured out, but these two cards are tripping me up, and I'm probably gonna have to look into it to get a little bit more, because these two cards are very, very interesting, and I wonder what they're referring to. Actually, let me go ahead and get a clarifier on that. Yeah. Okay, so this is Mike Morse, and it's saying that right now Mike Morse is in a situation where he is maybe not the most well respected right now because of his involvement in a sexual harassment case in Michigan, and especially for the fact that he's supposed to be working with Chris Hansen on the Onision investigation, which is about sexual behaviors. So, again, the hypocrisy angle that people can put on this is pretty clear. Now, what we're seeing with this, he can't really do anything right now about that, because once again, when you have stuff, accusations against you, there's nothing really that you can do except for work on your stuff and try to move forward and try to ultimately work towards getting your name cleared. We know that Chris Hansen was turned himself in last year, January of 2019, for bad checks or bouncing checks, things like that, but he was acquitted of the charges. So he redeemed himself. That's what Mike Morse is waiting for right now. He's waiting to be redeemed. So he's keeping somewhat of a distance while he's waiting to be redeemed, because he's in a situation right now that's not looking good for him. It's not. It really isn't. I mean, I laugh, but people who are making this argument, it's a fair argument to make. And what is even more interesting, the reason why these two cards are kind of confusing me is because this is like a breaking of bonds, a breaking of collaboration, and this is a card about kind of walking away and distancing yourself. So what I would gather from that is there's a possibility here. There's a possibility here that as things move forward, Mike Morse may not be able to like clear his name out completely, and Chris might make the decision to kind of pull back from his heavy reliance on Mike Morse, at least in a public way, and might pull back. You know, we've seen Chris Hansen pull back from Vincent, you know, albeit in a really big way by firing him. But we've seen that before, so he might begin distancing himself a little bit from the Mike Morse drama to try to add credibility back to his investigation. I don't see from these cards anything that would insinuate that Mike Morse is doing something personally to thwart the investigation like allegedly we just saw for Vincent Nicotra. I don't see that here. But I do see that his tainted reputation and uncleared name very much so has an effect. This right here is showing somebody who's not really in good favor, somebody who is kind of, you know, down and out. This card right here in reverse with the High Priestess, this is not a card you want to see in reverse, because this can insinuate, you know, lack of trust or lack of integrity or lack of honesty, lack of morals, things like that is what this card can represent. And I see a loss of finances, and I see conflict, which is intriguing. So let me pull some more cards, because this is interesting. This is interesting. This is very curious. Oh, dear God. Okay. Okay. Ooh, there's two cards under that, but I'm just going to pull the one that showed up right and not the other one, because I'm going to assume that it wasn't meant to come out if we didn't see it. Wow. Okay. Seriously? Okay. Cards. You do realize who we're talking about here, right? 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 Okay. Okay, it's getting better. It's getting better. So remember with this card how I was concerned because this card said, you know, lack of trust, kind of lack of honesty, lack of integrity, like that this is the public, because see, this is the public viewing him in a bad light over there, and this is the public saying, I can't trust this guy, I can't trust if he's actually being honest, I can't trust if he actually has any integrity, because look at what's against him. So how is he going to come up in a case like this when he has stuff like that going on with him? You know, what a joke. This card, unfortunately, says that there are hidden secrets. There are things going on, allegedly, hey, allegedly, there are things going on, allegedly, about this Mike Morse issue that we don't know about. And the thing is, y'all, the part that makes it kind of suck worse is because the moon card is upright. And when I get the moon card upright, it means that we may not ever know. When you get the moon card in reverse, when I get it in the reverse, it means that the secrets will be exposed. But when it's upright, there's a chance the secrets won't be exposed. There's a chance that, hey, you know, he's an attorney and he knows exactly how to handle cases, and if there's something against him, allegations against him, don't you think he's going to be smart enough to know what kind of moves to make right now and what kind of ways to handle that right now? Don't you think he's going to be smart enough to use his attorney brain and skills towards that? Yeah, he is. So if I'm going to be honest, allegedly, if I'm going to be honest, the cards are looking like what he's being charged with. He is guilty of that. He is guilty of that from what the cards look like. Allegedly, allegedly. This is just tarot reading, y'all. This is just tarot reading. And what I see from this, with the Fool being in reverse and the Nine of Swords being in reverse, this means that he is paranoid because he knows that he is guilty of what's been alleged against him. So he is paranoid. We've seen this paranoia card come up. I can't make this up. We've seen this paranoia card come up for Onision in some of these past readings that I've done. Y'all see the parallels here? It makes me uncomfortable. But we do see those parallels. He is kind of paranoid, and because he knows he's covering something up. I don't know the full extent of everything that's being alleged against him, so I can't necessarily say that every little detail being alleged against him is true. But from what the cards say, he isn't an innocent man. Like, completely. That there are things he's hiding, that there is some truth to some sort of aspect of what's being held against him, presented against him, which is unfortunate. These cards, though, are leaning in a better direction. Let me see where these are going by adding some more up here, and then we can kind of get onto that. Whew, 26 minutes, y'all. Okay. I'm trying to... Oh, man. Was this meant to be in reverse? Let me throw it. All right, let me throw it again. Okay. Whew, I was like, is this meant to be in reverse? Because I don't feel, see, and that's another thing. Sometimes when I feel a card go down and I feel it got pulled down all funky and it lands weird, I'm like, are we sure? So I'll toss a couple of times and see how it lands. And I just tossed it twice, and both times it landed in the upright position. Okay, see, a lot of this is about going with your gut. I mean, that's the point of tarot, is just going with your gut and channeling what you get. And, you know, whatever it is, it is. And people can naysay it, and that's okay. You know, everybody in their jobs, in their hobbies, can get things wrong sometimes. It happens to the best of us. But so far, so good on my front here, so I'm going to trust what I'm getting. So the good news is, here with the Star upright, the Star upright is kind of like a fresh start, starting something new. And with this, it's coming out of a bad situation. The Lover's card upright is saying, you know, business situations in good standing. The Knight of Wands is being able to push forward and move forward with new ambition and all of that. And the Chariot is kind of a stop energy. The World card is a coming to a close energy. So what it looks like here is that if this is what I think it is, it looks like whatever he's going through with this sexual harassment stuff, he's kind of got a new lease on it. He knows how to start over with it. He knows how to turn a bad thing into a good thing. He knows how to keep himself in good standing, because again, he's an attorney. He's smart. He knows how to deal with that, and he can continue forward into his ambitions, his passions, and this kind of stuff will just kind of stop. You know, this is saying, you know, the movement has ended, and with the World, it's like tying a bow around something. It means something, you know, is done. So if I had to guess what these are saying that, yeah, he's not an innocent man. There is stuff he's hiding, but with it being upright, again, I don't think we'll ever know what he's hiding. I don't think those secrets will really get exposed. I think that he is being untrustworthy. He is being dishonest. in covering something up, but it doesn't look like that's going to get exposed. And if we're going to read through this, it looks like he's going to be able to redeem himself. It looks like whatever's being alleged against him, he's going to be able to stay on top of that and come out on top. I don't really see secrets getting exposed. I see him being able to turn the situation around in a way that works for him, and kind of closes that chapter with him being able to save face. That's what I see. So from what we've seen in here, we've seen that it doesn't look like he's negatively affecting this FBI investigation outside of the public outcry against possible hypocrisy, you know, that kind of a tainted name. So that's a fortunate thing, and it's fortunate that all the damage that Vincent Nicotra has already done, he's not going to be able to do any more damage to the investigation. He's only doing more damage to himself. And it is kind of sad, though, I will say, you know, all alleged, of course, but if he is, you know, if he isn't innocent and he does have stuff to hide, it is kind of sad that he would be able to get away with it, you know. That's kind of grimy. That kind of doesn't sit well with me, but that's what the cards are showing. If I'm going to be honest, that's what the cards are showing. So let's just pull some overalls, because I know it's been a half hour now. People are probably being like, what the hell? You know, come on, girl, what are you doing here? So let's shuffle it up and pull some overalls about Chris Hansen and his overall with him and his team and everything that he's doing in this movement, his overall effectiveness and ability to assist this investigation. Let's see. With Chris Hansen himself. Woo, we've got 2 swords already to start out with. Hell. That's starting off strong, though. Okay. Whew. No, we're not going to keep that because too many of them fell. Too many of them fell. Okay. So the good news is he's got a clear mind now. He's kind of noticing the fault in his ways. He's noticing the fault in the team that he chose. He's seeing those kinds of things and how they're negatively impacting his credibility. And he's going to be able to take that information and start to turn things around and rebuild trust with the people. That's a good thing. He's getting people involved in the legal system that need to be involved. He's bringing awareness in the way that it needs to be brought. So sure, he's maybe done things that are not the best. He maybe has done things that are a little bit shady. That's kind of what this is saying, that maybe he's done things a little bit shady. Maybe he hasn't been able to do things completely, you know, the perfect way, then in a way an investigation should go. Sure, there's some kind of sloppiness in things that he has done and things that he has allowed and people that he has allowed to be on the team. That is all true. We're seeing that in here. However, he is bringing attention and he has great contacts and networks from his long career that other people who've tried to report Onision in the past don't have access to. He just has better access and he's more well connected to the people that need to hear about this. And so he is, in that case, you know, he's doing good in that respect. He is doing good in that respect. The problem here, these don't look good. Let me pull more. Shit. Okay, I gotta stop screaming. This little webcam microphone can't take it when I scream. So I really need to not. But I really hate actually seeing that come up here. So if you haven't seen my previous videos about how this overall investigation is going to go, you might want to pause this for some spoiler alerts. Go watch those and come back. Here, I'll give you a second. Okay, hopefully you've paused and you've already gone back and watched those, because you're about to get a mini spoiler alert here. He's working really hard on this. What I was getting at with these, in the context where I left off and pulled these, is because I thought that I knew where this was going, and it is. The problem here is Onision. This card right here is saying working really hard and not really winning the ultimate prize. And here, it's like he's sowing a lot of good seeds, but when I get the Justice card, for me, sure, other tarot readers get the Justice card, and it means lots of different things to other readers. To me, the Justice card always signifies the justice system, and always symbolizes the kind of fairness and what goes on in the justice system. And it looks like he's going to work really hard, putting all this effort in, and the justice system is not going to give him what he wants with this case. And this is not getting what I want, having to walk away, and having to try to heal from the heartbreak of this. So for those of y'all who have already seen my other readings on this, you'll see what those readings have said about the outcome of the case. And it has said that the outcome is, that justice will be served, but not in the way that the people en masse are hoping for. And from what I see here, it's saying the same thing. Justice isn't... Because in the legal system, y'all, we can make accusations all we want. We can show proof by showing, judges all of Onision's videos and how horrible of a person he is, how shitty he talks about people. We can be character witnesses all day and use character allegations all day to show, look how shitty of a person this is. You can see from all of his videos how terrible he is. But at the end of the day, y'all, this is the justice system. We need hardcore evidence for every little thing. And we need evidence that is so strong and so long-standing and so detailed that beyond a reasonable doubt, you can prove guilt. And what we're seeing here is, despite a lot of the hard work, but here we go again, the upright moon. Despite all of the hard work, look at this, the upright moon. What did this just mean when we were talking about Mike Morse? What did this just mean? It meant, sure, there are secrets. Sure, there's dirty things hidden in the closet. But does that mean it's all going to get exposed? Does that mean it's all going to go that way? No. And here's an immature person. I can't speak English anymore. Here's an immature person, aka Onision, who's on top. Look at him. He's coming out on top with this. Things are not going to go as hard against him as we want. He is not going to suffer in legal consequences the way that the people want. The people want him put away in prison for a long time. And the cards say that's not going to happen to him. And then here we go again, getting the same stuff I got in the last reading. If you, again, did you watch my last reading about the kids and what's going to happen to the kids? If you haven't, pause it, go watch it now. I'll wait. Okay, if you didn't listen to if you didn't go and look at it, spoiler alert, we had talk about there being another woman. Just go watch that video. If you want to see where the other woman comes in, this exact card, go watch that video. All these cards are going to do right now, if I keep pulling and keep pulling and keep pulling, all these cards are going to do is reiterate the same shit that I've said in the last few Onision videos. The same thing. It's just the same thing coming up back to back to back. It's just, we get the same thing. The fact that I get the same thing every time I pull, and y'all watch me shuffle. I'm telling y'all. Just go watch those other videos if you haven't yet. As I was doing this, you see this card that came off? Let's just see for shiggles what it is. Yep. Y'all remember watching in those other videos? The Nine of Pentacles in reverse? What did that signify? that signified Kai, and Kai getting the shit into the stick. I'm telling y'all, see? All the same things are coming up. The exact same cards, the exact same way, the exact same meaning. Just watch those other videos. Just watch those other videos. And y'all, just share this stuff. Like and subscribe. Keep following. Some of the videos I do are not going to be Onision videos because, like I said, I'm used to covering petty YouTube drama. I'm used to covering, someone said, what about so-and-so? Someone lied about their makeup launch? Someone's going to try to do what now? Those videos are going to come up too. So, but I hope that y'all stay subscribed. I am a micro-ass channel, y'all. I think I have 400 subscribers right now as we speak. It would be awesome to make it to 1,000 so that one day I can have the hopes of monetization like the rest of us on YouTube. But y'all, I'm telling you, my cards keep saying the same thing. But we got our questions answered to this video. You wanted to know about Vincent Nicotra, and you wanted to know about Mike Morse. You wanted to know about Chris Hansen and how all of that played out for the investigation. The cards let us know. Let's see how it goes. All right, y'all. Bye. Oh, wait. If you want private readings, email me below. Bye.